ladies and gentlemen. I have upgraded my setup here, and I now have a better way of capturing some ASMR videos. It is a learning curve because you gotta make sure that your microphone is set up properly and that your lighting is correct. So I've done a bit of studying, and I think I'm doing okay so far. I got a new laptop, and I believe that I'm using it correctly in terms of making sure that my audio is correct. I've had a few hiccups starting this video. I think this is like the third attempt, but I think I got it sorted now. One of the issues of having one of these digital microphones is that you have to put it through like a filtering system so that like the computer can make sure that the sound is coming in properly. It makes it good for like making sure that your sound is almost exactly where you need it to be, but at the same time it has a bit of a learning curve. So in the last video, one of you suggested that I try some book sounds. So today I selected one from my bookshelf. It is the Illustrated Art of Manliness. I got this one a little while back because I like the art style and I thought it was intriguing. I wanted to see what kind of knowledge it may have or if it had any cool jokes, but it turns out that it's actually a pretty helpful how-to guide on how to do a lot of survival stuff, general gentleman kind of stuff, things about like etiquette, survival, self-defense, basically anything that's considered manly is in here. But I think that anyone can pick this book up and learn a lot from it. Just because it says manliness on it doesn't necessarily mean that women can't read it. I think there's actually like a lot of good stuff in here. So I color coded it. Also, I am in the process of getting a pop filter for this microphone, so if a lot of my P's and S's are coming out a little too harsh, I apologize. I will get better over time. It will just take me a little bit. But yeah, so the book is already color-coded, but I joined a Bible study like 2 years ago, and I got really into I basically got really into studying books again. I've never really been like a super big reader, but when I did read, I really enjoyed like highlighting certain quotes or facts that I thought were fascinating in the book. So reading the Bible was a good place to start because God is good and Christ is King. Amen. But it kind of bled over into other books that I've been looking at to learn, and I thought it was kind of neat that it already had its own color-coded pages. I don't know if you can see that very well. You can kind of see it, but I basically just followed their color coding and just did the same thing. Also, if I end up misspeaking at all, because I really don't want to have to do these videos over and over and over again. I'll do as much as I can, but I don't have an editor or anything, so I can't really do a lot of redos. So say something, I apologize. I will do my best to speak as articulately as I can. Anyways, so the Illustrated Art of Manliness, the essential how-to guide, survival, self-defense, style, chivalry, car repair, and more. This has also been another thing that's happened the last couple times I tried recording, is I kept hitting the microphone. I don't know how to not do that. I think it's just being aware of your surroundings. But if I hit the microphone, I'm sorry. Also, if I don't look directly into the lens, that's just something I'm gonna have to get used to, because I don't know, I like looking around the room when I'm thinking. Eye contact has always been like a weird issue for me. So I'll try and look at you as best I can, but if I look around the room, it's mostly because I'm trying to find my thoughts in my area, I guess you can say. I think I'm going to end up doing a lot of rambling videos, so if you're into that, welcome to the show. Okay, so let's see here. Here's one. So the first section is, or one of the first sections is building a roaring campfire. Let's see. A few things are primitively satisfying than taking wood to flame in great outdoors. To make a rip-roaring, s'mores-toasting, but warming fire that will be the envy of the campsite. Start with dry tinder and keep it going with plenty of well-seasoned wood. Step 1 of making a campfire is select a site away from trees, shrubs, and other greenery. Clear the area of grass, leaves, and other flammable materials. Sorry, I'm getting a little tired. I live with my grandmother and my aunt to help them out, because it's kind of hard for them to live by themselves, so the house gets pretty noisy sometimes. My grandmother really likes cooking during the day, and there's a lot of chores to be done from time to time, so she'll just randomly open the door during the day and just yell for me. So the quietest part of the day for me is usually like early in the morning or late at night. Currently my grandmother's upstairs watching TV. She's been having trouble sleeping recently, so she's kind of just been up late at night watching stuff and trying to tire herself out. I don't know if she would like things like ASMR or whatever. It seems like the only thing that can really get her to go to sleep is if she's like watching the news or something and just like gets bored and falls asleep. Anyway, there's another tangent. I apologize. Let's keep going. Where were we? I believe we were on step number 2. I didn't even get through the first step without This is gonna be fun. I think a lot of these videos are just gonna end up being me going on like ADD rants about random things. Anyway, number 2. Form a rock circle with a 2 to 3 foot diameter around where you want to build a fire. Step 3. Use dry, flammable tinder like crumbled papers, leaves, or bark as the base. Step 4. Place thin wood shavings on top of the tinder. Number 5. Cross pencil-thick twigs over the tinder and the wood shaving pile. Leave room in between for air circulation. 6. Ignite using a match or lighter. Once it starts, blow on the fire to increase oxygen and heat so the wood catches quickly. Number 5. Add large pieces of kindling and then full logs as needed to keep the flames going. The way that I've been instructed on how to build a fire, if you're not just going to dump a bunch of fuel on it or just shove a bunch of paper into it until it just burns, is like if you're out in the woods and you need to start a fire from scratch, like the bare minimum to begin with, you want to start off low and slow and really just let it grow on its own and just keep feeding it until it gets big enough to where you need it to be. It's kind of like when you're cooking a burger or a steak. You want a low, slow burn at first, and if you need to get it hotter, you just feed it after it becomes sustainable. I was an army brat when I was a kid, so my family moved around a lot. But I really wish that I could have gone into Boy Scouts or something when I was a kid. That would have been really fun, but we never really lived anywhere long enough for me to get into the Scouts. But I had a couple of friends when I was younger that were in Boy Scouts, and they taught me a couple things. But you can basically learn how to build a fire from anywhere, but they basically told me what I just told you, is you build a fire slowly and you nurture it until it has enough strength to burn on its own, and it won't easily be blown out by the wind. But yeah, try and find the driest wood you can, because if you just grab any old pieces of wood, or if you use like young trees instead of like old ones, or cutting branches off of bigger ones, like if you go to like a young tree and just cut it down for whatever reason, the wood is gonna be too fresh and too filled with water, and if you put it in your fire, it will just it will steam all the water out. It won't burn, it will just create a lot of smoke and steam, and it won't really nurture your fire. Like, your fire needs like dead, dry things to burn. And if you're going to have like a long-term fire pile, you need to put your wood aside in a place where it will dry in the sun easily, or will just stay out of the rain as much as possible. But that really depends on if you're like in a survival situation, or if you have like a cabin or something, you really need to treat your wood differently depending on where you are. But in a survival situation, you do the best you can, but it's really important to start off with twigs and stuff just to get the fire going and started, and then you can work your way up to a bigger fire. And if you can work in teams with somebody, that can be good too. Because then you can collect different sources of kindling and wood. Like one of you is grabbing twigs to really get the fire going, and then someone else can go and get like bigger chunks, whether they're using an axe or if they find something that's like a big dead log that isn't too wet or rotted. You don't want to burn rotted wood either, because then it has the same problem as like young wood, where it will be too moist and spongy and it won't really burn right. So there really is like an art to starting a fire. So I would say if you can, try and go on like a little trip with some friends in a controlled environment and make a bonfire, and just try your best to not use ignition sources or fuel sources like oil or whatever. Like try and build a fire from scratch and see how far you get before you get frustrated and have to use oil. Like practice trying to create a fire for fun, I guess. It went like in the winter or whatever, like in your backyard, if you're allowed to do that. And then when you get used to doing it from scratch at home with whatever you have, then, like, God forbid you end up in a survival situation, you at least know what to do to keep yourself warm. Let's pause for some book sounds, and then I'll move on to a different section. I don't know how much of this is peaking the mic or not. I don't think I'm being too loud. But I am using a Yeti Nano on the Mixline app with Streamlabs OBS. Yeah. If you hear like a loud humming noise, that's my grandmother going back to bed. She has like one of those stair chairs where she can like go up and down without having to actually use the stairs. I think she's going to bed now. But anyway, I am hoping that I can improve, but if any of you know anything about sound design or whatever, I'm trying to learn as best I can and hopefully improve so that you guys can enjoy. But I think this is definitely a step up from my previous video. I got like 300 views on that video. I haven't checked it. I might have gotten more, but I didn't think I was gonna get any more than like 10 views. I got 300. That was insane. And to any of you that are coming to this video from that video, I really appreciate it. And I hope you stick around, and we'll see how far this goes. I'm excited to see where it goes. Thank you. Anyway, let me do some more sounds for you, and then we can get back to the reading. I'm probably just gonna label this video like a ASMR rambling reading Art of Manliness or something. I don't know. I don't want it to be too long of a title, but I'll figure it out. I'll deal with that tomorrow. For now, I'm just gonna do sounds. Let's see here. There's different sections on how to style your suit, style your shirt, and a whole bunch of other stuff. I wish I could grow a mustache, but my face is a little too round. I was like 255 pounds at my heaviest when I was in college. I had gotten out of a semi-toxic relationship, and I was finishing up college before COVID, and I got fat from like depression and all that. And COVID didn't really help, but after COVID, I got fed up, and I lost like 30 pounds by working out. My dad used to do bodybuilding before he went into the army, and I asked him to help me lose some weight, and he helped me tailor a regiment to essentially, if you want to lose weight, like burn calories specifically, you want to do more reps and have like a comfortable weight that you can do a lot of reps with, but still put effort in. Whereas you don't want to be like a strong man and lift really heavy, but only like 3 times. That's for like strength specifically, and that won't really burn calories the way that you need to. So it really comes down to calories in, calories out, but it's also about how you're exercising, not just, oh, you can do any exercises. There's specific things that you need to do. Like, for example, dancers do similar, like their way of doing things is similar to high reps, medium weight, but instead of using weights, they just use their body motions. But they move around a lot, and that combined with like a proper diet keeps them thin and looking really good. But some people just have, like me, I have a round face. I have like a big head, and if I like shave my head, my sister likes to make fun of me and call me a thumb. like from Spy Kids. I don't know how many of you guys are old enough to remember Spy Kids, but if I shave my head is like, I have a very thick, muscular neck, and it just like tapers down from my skull. Like I don't really have like a defined face, so I kind of just have like a thumb head. Just because like I have a thick, muscular neck, and a round face. So I'm not as fat as I was. I lost like 30 pounds, so I'm down to like, it fluctuates, but I'm trying to get below 220. But anyway, that tangent has to do with this section I'm about to read. I can't really wear mustaches because then I just look like a fat cop. Like the stereotypical, like, big mustache, chubby, cop-looking guys. It's not a good look. I've tried different ways of wearing my facial hair, and it's like a little stubbly right now. It's like growing back in. I need to trim it, but I think I look best with like a goatee or like just completely shaved, but my hair grows back so fast that I can't really keep it off for very long without having to shave again or cut my hair again. But yeah, some people just don't really have a face for mustaches unless it's like a specific type. But I don't know. Also, like, I have like a dirty blonde beard, and it makes me look older than I am. I've had someone tell me that I look 40 once. I'm in my 20s. Having a blonde beard makes me look double my age. So I try my best to keep it trimmed, like, not like, I can't always keep it like a close shave because like I get like a lot of ingrown hairs if I do that, so I kind of just trim it low the way I do my hair essentially, and I work with that. I'm trying to remember why I went on that tangent, and I realize it's because of this book. I completely forgot about the book. I'm not a narcissist. I'm just trying to talk about something relevant to the book. So, anyway, so this section is about trim and style your mustache. And then we have a bunch of handsome fellows showing you the different styles of mustaches you can have. I don't have the autofocus on the lens right now, so that's kind of blurry. But yeah, there's a bunch of different mustache styles. Let me read to you the section that talks about trimming your mustache. Okay. Trim and style your mustache. If you decide to grow a cookie duster, you've got the responsibility of keeping it in tip-top shape so that it's presentable to the rest of the world. Step 1. Trim your mustache weekly. First, comb dry mustache with a fine-tooth mustache comb. You have to use a specific comb. You don't want to cross-contaminate, so don't use like your head comb for your mustache. You need to get a mustache comb. The right tool for the right job. When wet, hair can appear longer, leading you to cut off too much. This is true, somewhat. this happen a couple of times where I trimmed my, like I had like long chin hairs, and the wetness, like if you wet your hair, they'll clump together and look like longer hairs because they're like lining up together and bunching up together. They won't look like individual hairs as much. They'll be more uniform together when they're wet. So it will make like 3 or 4 hairs look like one long hair, and you'll end up cutting way too much off. So I think that the same goes for your mustache. Also, if there are any girls watching this and you're still interested in watching this, hi. I've had mixed reviews from people that I've asked in real life. Like, I asked them, if you kiss a guy with a mustache, do you like that they have a mustache? Do you want them to shave it off? Some of them don't like it. Some of them like it because it tickles their lip, and they're like, it makes the kiss more interesting, I guess. But it all depends on how soft the hair is. Like if you have like a really prickly facial hair, or just like hairs that are a little too rough, like you don't condition the hair on your face, it makes like kissing and hugging unpleasant because it's like they're rubbing their face against like sandpaper. Like my dad used to shave his facial hair. He would shave his facial hair off and have like really sharp stubble, and it was like sandpaper to hug him sometimes. Like he would purposefully like rub his cheek up against you to like to mess with you, I guess. Like, no, you're too rough. Some people like don't care to condition their hairs. Some people do. It really depends. But for the women, I'm curious. Let me know. Do you like kissing a guy with facial hair or not? And does it depend on whether or not they have good, well-kept facial hair, or if it's just a no-go? I've heard some women say that they don't want their men to shave. Like, they don't like the way their man looks without a beard. So I guess it's all personal preference, but I'm really curious if anyone has, like, if they want to share their thoughts or personal stories about facial hair, I guess. I don't know if that's like a good tingling sound or not, but I think it's relevant to the piece of paper. I don't like having a neck beard. I just, for some reason, grow hair there a lot, so if anyone starts making fun of me as a neck beard, I'm not purposefully trying to be a neck beard. I just didn't trim my face. I usually have like a well-kept goatee or like no facial hair at all. I've just been lazy the past couple days, so sue me, I guess. I don't know. I think that's something we can all agree on, though, that neck beards are not attractive. It makes your face look a lot weirder. Like it, at least for me, whenever I see someone with a neck beard, or I look at myself with a neck beard, it makes them look fatter somehow. I don't know why. I don't know. Let's see. I think I'm just gonna do one from each section and we'll see how it goes. I don't know how long we've been recording. Let me check. It has been half an hour. I talk way too much. This video, I don't know how I ended up making it as long as it is. I talk way too much. Or maybe I don't talk long enough. I don't know if you're into long format videos, but let me know. Would you prefer me to just like hurry up and get it over with, or do you like the rambling and want me to just, you know what, I'm just gonna do it, and if it's as long as it is, then it's as long as it is. If you want shorter stuff, I can just do just sound assortments where I'm not even talking, because if I talk, I'm gonna talk for a long time. But yeah, I think this one's gonna be rambling, so I'm glad that you stayed this long. I didn't realize how long I've been talking. Here's one. I like this one. And this section, I believe, is the technician. So this is how to use specific tools. And this one is the 10 ways to use a pocket knife. Now, I know that some people don't like knives and guns and stuff, but it's your right to not want to use them if you don't want to. But personally, you are the only one that is capable of protecting yourself and ensuring your survival. So I have a favorite YouTuber that likes to quote this a lot when he's talking about stuff. What's the quote? Stay strapped or get clapped. If you don't feel comfortable enough to have a gun, or you can't have one for whatever reason, at least have a knife on you. And if you can't have a knife for whatever reason, learn how to use your fists and learn how to box. I love boxing. Boxing's fun. Like, you are responsible for your own safety, and it's up to you to decide what that means. I personally, knives, guns, martial arts, all of it, it's your God-given right to defend your life. And, you know, and this section is about pocket knives, so you don't really use it just for self-defense. And in some places, if you do use a knife in self-defense, it will land you in more trouble than if you used a gun. So, learn your laws, I guess. But pocket knives, in my opinion, are very useful for pretty much everything you do in life. I think 90% of the time I use my pocket knife to open boxes or break down boxes so that I can recycle them, or opening my mail. I hope that I never have to use my knife or guns or whatever for self-defense, but I will use them if I have to. But for the most part, knives, most of the time I use them to just open things up, like packages or whatever. So, the 10 ways to use a pocket knife. From multi-tooth behemoths like the Swiss Army knife to a simple pen knife. for sure to use it for lots of things you never thought you would. First one, open impossibly strong plastic packages, boxes, and letters. Like I said, that's like 90% of the reason why I use a knife. Because using scissors, they're not always sharp enough to cut tape. But if you keep your knife sharp, it's quicker and sometimes easier to open packages and boxes. Number 2, create tinder from dry sticks for easy to start campfires. Number 3, cut up food at a moment's notice. Here's a helpful tip if you're going to use a pocket knife for food. Make sure it's your own food. Don't just, like, if you're on a date and like your girlfriend or whatever wants to peel an apple and you pull out your pocket knife or whatever, just anything that involves food, I would say, like, clean your knife and use it on your own food. Like, don't be using your knife on other people's food. It's rude and weird. And what's that new phrase that girls like to use? It's an ick if you use your pocket knife on like if you have a steak and you don't have a knife, you just have a fork, so you pull out your pocket knife and use your pocket knife to cut the steak. That's, like, from what I've seen, it's like an immediate gross out moment where they're like, you just pulled a knife out of your pocket. I don't know where that knife has been. It could be like super gross and rusty. Like, why are you using that to cut up your meat or whatever? So use it at your discretion. Like, read the room. Don't just whip out your knife and be like, oh, I'm gonna peel this apple. It might gross some people out. Number 4, like I said, you can defend yourself against an attack with a knife. But know your laws. Sometimes it might just be better to use your fists. But in a self-defense situation, you use what you got and you deal with the consequences later. Sometimes it just is what it is. What's the next one? Oh. You can sharpen sticks into arrows and spears for survival with your pocket knife. Because it is your God-given right to poke things with sticks. You are man. You are king of this planet. You can do what you want with pokey sticks. Anyway. It's kind of getting late. My head's getting a little foggy. I'm just gonna finish this page and probably do a little more, a couple more triggers, and then I'm gonna call it. I'm not gonna read the whole book, because it's already been like, oh my gosh, it's been 45 minutes. How have I been talking that long? Now I see why people use editors. Anyway. 6. You can strike a flint to create a spark to start a fire. strike a fire with your knife, don't use your blade. It'll dull the blade, or you might end up cutting yourself. Like, close your knife, and if it has like a metal handle, use the part of the handle to do that. Number 7. Trim pesky, loose strings and itchy tags on clothes. That's another thing I do with my knife a lot, is like if I have a shirt that has like a hanging string and I don't want to use scissors, or like I just happen to have a knife on me, I just flick it out and cut the string off. And because if I don't like immediately cut the string off, I'm gonna be that like big dumb person. Like if I had like a string hanging out of my armpit, I would literally just sit there yanking on the string for like 10 minutes trying to make the string go away, and I would basically just unravel my shirt by accident. So it's easier just to whip a pocket knife out, cut it, and be done. Number 9. You can use your knife to accessorize by clenching the knife in your teeth while swinging from ropes, branches, and other Tarzan-approved apparatuses. I love that this book doesn't take itself too seriously. Like, it has useful stuff in it, but it also just has some like random jokes. It's like, oh, you can look like Rambo or Tarzan with your knife. Like, I guess, but I don't know. I like books like this where they don't take themselves seriously all the time. Number 9. You can unscrew tiny flathead screws found in eyeglasses and small electronics. Yes, you can use your knife as a screwdriver, but be careful, because either you're going to strip the screw or you're going to break the tip of your knife. Like, it all depends on how tough the screw is and how tough your knife is. If you have like a little $10 knife, it's going to break pretty easily. Like, you get what you pay for most of the time. You know, if you're gonna get a quality knife, like, get a knife that you can rely on, you know. Or just get a Swiss Army knife or a utility knife that actually has those tools built in, so you don't have to hurt the blade of your knife. But you know, you use what you got. But if you're gonna get a pocket knife, get one that is quality. You know, you can always tell by like how thick the cross section of the blade is, like how thick the blade itself is, and what kind of steel it's made out of. Like, usually if it's stainless steel, it's cheap. Hardened steel can be better, but it depends on who made it. Just like with anything you buy, do your research and you pick the thing that is best for you. Or you can use a cheap knife because you just wanted something quick to cut some stuff. You know, it's all dependent upon what you want out of it. But you get what you pay for. Number 10. You can slice your seatbelt off if it gets jammed after an accident. This doesn't always work. It depends on how sharp your knife is and how good it is at cutting, like the shape of the blade. I would say get a seatbelt cutter for your car and leave it in your like door or in the glove box or something. They make specific tools for cutting your seatbelt because sometimes pocket knives won't do it. they're really good for cutting certain things, but they suck at cutting other things. So it really just depends. I'm not saying that you should go and practice cutting your seatbelt. That's kind of dumb, but I would say, like, get specific tools for your car if you can. A seatbelt cutter, a windshield cracker, get a tire pump for your tires. That's important. And what else? A battery charger, like something to start your car if your car like dies for whatever reason. Like the battery needs a jump start. Like not just jump start cables. I'm talking about like they sell specific devices for jumping your car, so you don't have to hook up to someone else's car. I saw this video once where someone didn't put the ground, like they didn't put the wires on. Oh, my light died. These are wireless lights. They need to be charged. That one just died. I guess my lights are saying time to go. Anyways, the lesson of the day is you get what you pay for, and if you're going to buy something, learn how to use it. You're responsible for your safety and your survival. So acquire as many skills as you can. Get something like this or like a survival guide. Like learn some basic skills that will be useful to you, because you may not need those skills now, but you don't know if you're going to need them in the future, so it's good to be prepared. How does the saying go? It's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. So I would say take your safety and survival seriously. It's important. And part of that is making sure that you get some good rest. I hope that you enjoyed this, and if you're asleep already, good night. Thank you for watching, and please be safe and take care of yourself. It's important. Speaking of sleep, I'm pretty tired. It is like... It's like 11:45 right now. I'm still having to kind of hunch over to talk to the microphone, because like I want the microphone to be at a height where you can still see my face. But if like I really want to talk to it, I feel like I have to get really close. I don't know. I'll figure it out. I think I've rambled on long enough for today. If you have any suggestions on how to improve, or if you like how I'm doing things now and you want me to just stay like this for now, that's fine. You know, I'm probably not going to be able to upgrade equipment for a while, but in terms of improving my skills, let me know. Did you like this? Did you not? And if you want to see more of me, then subscribe and like and do all the YouTube stuff. And we'll see where this goes. Anyway, God be with you and stay safe.